Welcome. Today we are going to look at English paper 3. Answer 3 questions only. Imaginative composition, 20 marks. Either write a story to illustrate the saying, a bird's in hand is worth two in a bush, or write a composition to show how children can be of help to their parents during school holiday. So we start with a story to illustrate the saying, a bird in hand is worth two in the bush. So here in the imaginative composition, we look at general guidelines of marking it. This is the question tests the ability to communicate effectively in English. This communicative ability is tested in various levels such as correctness, intelligibility, originality, fluency, accuracy, and pleasantness. It is the linguistic mark that counts, not the number of points raised by the candidate. Read through the composition, establish the level of communication by determining its class, then award the mark commensurate with the class of composition. The underlining should point to the class of the composition. For example, heavily underlined bleeding script as construction, spelling, paragraphing, vague parts, redundancies, unnecessary repetitions, etc. Clean and unassuming, fluent but not maritime items, bookish, pleasant and attractive, captivating, twists and turns, communicate wholesale, conscious of culture, the do's and don'ts, as attitude, infuses mood, many meritable items on the margin. So, it must be a story. Write a story to illustrate the saying, a bird in hand is worth two in the bush. This must be a story. If not, you should be deducted 4 marks. The story should be illustrative of using what one has well rather than what they do not have. Question B, you write a composition to show how children can be of help to their parents during school holiday. Here are points of interpretation. It must be discursive, if not, deduct 4 marks. Some points to consider include here helping with household chores such as cleaning the house and dishes, taking over some tasks that the parents do while they are away such as milking, feeding animals, and tending to farms, being of good discipline, obedient and loyal to family values such as teamwork, responsibility, and goodness. Question 2. When a the Samaritan, John Lara. When a society elects selfish leaders, they bear the full brunt. Using examples from the play The Samaritan, write a composition to show the truth of the statement. So we have the introduction. Those who elect greedy leaders have themselves to blame when the leaders leave them with no resources, making them to live in poverty and hunger. Such is the case of Maracas municipality. You can accept any other relevant introduction. So we go to the illustrations. Ted, accused of presiding over the supply of air in the docket of health and environment. No wonder there are no drugs in the hospital, making their patients to suffer. Nicole observes that shortage of drugs is a common feature in Maracas. This, coupled with the fact he ate a whole hospital and built structures like cowsheds, implies that even the hospitals are not available to attend to the sick in Maracas. As a result, there is a serious risk to people's lives when sewers burst and the garbage heaps go uncollected under their watch. This you can find in pages 24 to 25, 33, 90 to 91. Seymour presides over rotten building inspectorate unit. They approve any buildings in as long as one parts with dollars. There are delays in building approvals because one has to part with money to have their building plans approved. Consequently, the occupants of these houses are likely to, when the houses collapse due to shoddy work done. Nicole observed that in their region that is highly seismic, the buildings are bound to collapse. This you can find in page 66. Seymour is the man behind the drug menace. First of all, it is the drug money that has propelled him into leadership. He used drug money to finance his campaigns. He has made Maracas be stocked out as a hub of narcotics. As a result, the youth have borne the brunt as they have dropped from school, lost their minds, roam about aimlessly, or even lost their lives. This you can find in page 66 to 67. Ramday presides over shoddy work in the construction of infrastructure in Maracas. He uses his relatives in all tenders involving the building of pavements, water courses, drains, road construction and bridges. No work is ever done. No roads are in pathetic states. The roads are in pathetic states. They look like places where bombs detonated. They are impassable. If tractors can get stuck in those roads, then it is more difficult for the people to use them. Page 62 to 63. Elected leaders preside over a rotten judiciary. As Mose possesses the judiciary, hawks justice like cabbages. Justice Jaden presides over a judiciary where justice is sold to the highest bidder. He confesses that litigants gave him money to rule in their favor. They are worse than temple robbers. As a result, innocent people do not get justice. As Nicole reckons that one cannot get justice in the law courts, Mosi wants to use judiciary to sort his differences with both Remde and Baste. This is page 67 to 68, 107 to 111, 117 to 118. The officials, Ramdai, Ted, and Seymour, want the funds to be used to help them avert the cases that may arise from the Samaritan. Seymour pronounces that they could use the terrible state of the waste disposal in the town to get funds that they would then divert to personal cases that would come from the Samaritan app. They people would rather continue living in squalor, but the leaders use the money for selfish ends. This you can find in page 33 to 36. And number 7, Mosi presides over a rotten municipality and seems powerless as the people suffer. He confesses that he has to take something from whatever is meant for the people that comes through him. He says that I take a slice, 2 or even 3, but his officials would take the whole loaf. The wrapping and even the vendor. He says he cannot prosecute the said officials because they are clandestine in their dealings and would harm him. The people are left in their own. No wonder they continue to lobby others through the Samaritan app. That is from pages 68 to 69. So here, when the examiner marks accepts any four well, has to accept only four well-developed points. Each is 3 marks, so a total of 12. We have grammar and presentation, and then conclusion. We must always strive to elect good leaders, for if we choose bad ones, we are bound to suffer. That is the conclusion that you make.